I'm James Scheller. I have James Blake Winery with my partner Blake Griffin. We've been making wine for over a decade now, and mostly right here at this site. We're the urban winemakers in Sacramento, and that includes us and Revolution and Spoto Wines and Star Johnson and John Triano and Railbridge. Back before I made wine, a good friend of mine and I made beer. We were beer makers, and we did that for probably 6 or 7 years, and we had a lot of success. We won medals at the state fair and all that. But the problem with beer making was that it was very hard to store. These beers you have to drink fresh. So it became very labor intensive to keep a fresh supply of beer. And we decided that since we live in a great section of the country with ample supply of grapes, that we'd start to make wine. Now it just so happens the guy I made wine with, Stu Spoto, his father was a great winemaker, still is, lives out in El Macero. He took us under his wing in the early days, and we all made wine together. And now our production is around 500 cases a year, but we've been as high as close to 700 cases. Our goal is to make very high quality artisan wines in small lots. And we can do that and control every aspect of the winemaking process, from picking the grapes in the field, how we destem them or crush them, and how they're fermented, how they're soaked, how they're pressed, and especially where they're cellared. We contract out for our grapes. So we have contracts with growers in various counties, and that accounts for about half of our grapes. The other half is ad hoc. We can go buy grapes in one area of California one year, and then next year switch to another area. One of the most important things is getting the grapes on the right day. Because if it rains tomorrow, you can't pick the grapes because you have mold problems. The water content in the grapes goes up, and the sugar levels go down because they'll suck up the water. So it's very weather dependent, and some years we're lucky and some years we're not so lucky. We've been trying to pick our grapes a little earlier than we have in the past in order to keep our alcohol levels just a little bit lower. High alcohols were in vogue probably 10 years ago in California, especially in California, as compared to European wines. In the warmer counties we'll harvest first, like in Lodi or in Amador, and it's usually a little bit later in Napa. And then we destem all the fruit here or at our facility downtown. Varying periods to cold soak the grapes, and that's usually 1 or 2 days, sometimes a little bit longer. And then we'll add yeast, and the fermentation, the primary fermentation, will take anywhere between 10 days to 2 weeks. Once the wine is dry, which means there's no more sugar, it's not sweet anymore, and the alcohol content is sufficient, we'll press it. Once the wine is pressed, it'll be stored in a stainless steel tank for a few weeks to let some of the must settle out, and then we'll rack it off into barrels. It'll basically just be stored, and we'll rack it a couple times throughout the year. The blending we really don't do until just before bottling, maybe a month before bottling, and we'll make our blends. You know, our varietals are, by law, have to be 75% of that varietal, but we'll use other grapes to blend in to make the wine a little bit more sophisticated and interesting. Mostly we make a Cabernet, a Napa Valley Cabernet, and a Merlot. We make a Nebbiolo from Amador. We have a Barbera from Amador. We have a Tempranillo from Amador. Most of our Zinfandel is Lodi. We get Petit Verdot up in Napa, and we use it as a blending wine. It really adds character and a lot of body to our Bordeaux style wines. And we may add just a touch of it to the Nebbiolo, but it's mostly a Bordeaux blending wine. They can go on our website at jamesblakewines.com, email us at jamesblakewines@gmail.com, or we sell it at various outlets around town. We sell it at Mateo's, at Beyond Napa. Inotria has our wine. Cafe Vinoteca, 58 and Holding has our wine too.